Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. It's for Friday, the 4th day of December, 2015. So the 4th of December is one of the only secular dates, solar dates, that you'll ever hear halacha actually talking about. In other words, usually the number December 1, January 1, all those things don't mean anything on a halacha calendar. But December 4th and some years December 5th are critical days for the switching over from saying Vesain beracha over to saying Vesain tal umatar livracha, and we usually make that switch over at Marav on December 4th or December 5th. This year it's kind of easy to figure out when it is. It can't be December 4th at night because December 4th is a Friday night when we don't say Vesain tal umatar because we don't say that bracha, in any of the Shabbos Shmona Esreis. So this year it naturally falls on Saturday night, December 5th, for people outside of Israel. For two reasons. Again, because you can't say it on Shabbos. We don't say that bracha on Shabbos. And also because this year the calculation comes out that we put this in a certain place on the solar calendar that has to do with when the rains begin, at least the official rainy season begins outside of Israel. And it begins at this time, and it moves around just by one day based on whether there's a solar added leap year one day coming on February 29th, which is going to happen this year in 2016. That switches around when the exact time to call it the rainy season is. So because we're having a leap year on, I'm not talking about the Jewish leap year, but because we're having a leap year on February 29th, that moves the Vesain tal umatar livracha date from December 4th at night to December 5th at night. So anyway, make a long story short, this Saturday night we switch over to saying Vesain tal umatar livracha. And if you forget to make that switch over, you would have to repeat the Shmona Esrei. So please, be very careful to get that right. I always tell you whenever we make these switchovers that you have the option of saying 101 times Vesain tal umatar livracha attached to the words right before it. The Baruch Aleinu words that come right before it, and then you say Vesain tal umatar livracha with it. If you do that 101 times, then we consider it like your habit has switched. And what's so critical about that is, then if you forget what you did, you could assume that your new habit kicked in and you got it right. So that's why I'd like to do it. A lot of people like to do it so that if just in case they forget what they did, they could say, but I switched my habit halachically by saying it 101 times attached to the words right before it. So you might want to take care of that sometime on like Friday afternoon or something, so that you're all set up in your new habit for when you're going to need it for Saturday night. If you do forget to say Vesain tal umatar livracha in its inserted spot in the bracha of Baruch Aleinu, there is a make-up time when you're able to say it, and that's in the bracha of Shema Kolenu, just before you get to the words Ki ata shomea. Because there you're allowed to add in any request, and asking for rain is a request, so you could insert it then if you forgot to insert it earlier. But if your whole Shemona Esrei went by and you didn't say it and you didn't make this halachic switch over, then you would have to repeat the entire Shemona Esrei. So please remember to take care of business, and it starts this Saturday night, Vesain tal umatar livracha. That's for all of us outside of Israel. The people in Israel, their rainy season has already officially begun way back in Cheshvan, so they all switched over a long time ago. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Shabbos, and log on after Shabbos. I think at the beginning of that halacha we'll remind you all one more time, but the time to really get this going is now. Have a great Shabbos. Log on again after Shabbos. Bye-bye.